Now, listeners may remember we had a rather talented Negro jazz musician on several months ago now. He's back on tour in Blighty. It's a pleasure to welcome back Willie Fiddler. Willie, can you hear me?
What's happening, Hugo?
Hello.
It's Willie Fiddler.
Hello, Willie. Great to hear from you. I must say, I've missed your spirited use of language. It's quite fetching. I do enjoy it. I hope you can replicate some of that today.
Oh, what's crack-a-lackin', Hugo? How you doing?
Crack-a-lackin', that is fun. Do you have crackers in America?
We certainly do. We have a lot of crackers.
Right, yes. And do you have them with cheese?
I believe they eat cheese, yeah. They're a big fan of the cheese.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's what gets them in the end, you know? The diabetes.
Wonderful stuff. Well, welcome back to Blighty. You're on tour, and I believe it's to coincide with a new album.
That's right. I'm back on tour in the UK, and I swung by Derby here. So I thought I'd give the radio show that launched my career in the UK a little call up. My old friend Hugo.
Well, I'm sorry, Willie. I don't want to stop you. I was just going to say that is wonderful.
Oh, I love it, Hugo. I love your enthusiasm for what I do.
Well,
and I've got my new album out called Beaver Girl.
Beaver Girl. Well, wow, this is... How fortuitous. I did see it was called Beaver Girl. I don't know if you know this, Willie. I'm trying to bring beavers back to Derbyshire. This is something I'm very passionate about, and we have been looking to, generate interest, because people, we've gone so long without beavers in Derbyshire. It's almost as though people don't care anymore.
You must forgive me for a second, Hugo, if my ears are correct. You telling me there's no beavers in Derbyshire?
No, I mean, there's no beavers in the UK, but Derbyshire it's ripe for beavers. It's so the habitat is so perfect for beavers, and I miss beavers. I am a huge fan of beavers, and seeing your record, I thought we could have I don't know, there's this new term that I've been looking at in my marketing materials for the BBC. It's called synergy, and if we can combine activism with music, it's a new way of doing things.
Yeah, I dig you, Hugo. I'm not sure what you're talking about, though, because I'm sure I've seen plenty of beavers since I've been back in the UK.
No, I mean, it may be an otter, but beavers, they've not been native to Derbyshire for quite a while, and they used to hunt them to great extent. But I love beavers. What's your album about?
Well, the title track is named after my first love, Beaver Rogers. She was a singer she was a backing singer for my band for a while there. We split up, but the reason she was called Beaver Rogers is because whenever she pulled her pants down, you'd say, damn. And that was due to her beaver. So we nicknamed her Beaver Rogers.
Right.
However, the problem with Beaver Rogers, Hugo, was the fact that she liked to put it about a bit, you know.
So this is about a beaver, yes?
Yeah, it's about my first love, Beaver Rogers. I'll play it for you now, Hugo.
Oh, wonderful.
Beaver girl, where you at? Let me come and stroke that cat. You keep it neat, you keep it clean. It's the best I've ever seen. You've kept it trim, you've let it Cause when I speak into the flat, I hear my voice, it echoes back. You tasty fresh and you don't smell, but come on girl, you wild as hell. You nice and wet, there's even tides, but mine it just don't touch the side. Basically, that was the problem, Hugo, is I had to get rid of her because she was sleeping with half the band, you know. But goddamn, what a beaver she had. It was trim, it was clean, she kept it nice.
So
It's like a little afro on top there.
So your band had a beaver?
Somewhat of a beaver, yes. It was quite the beaver. Beaver Rogers was her name.
Right, and she built dams, because, you know, you dam, and these dams were wide? What's confusing me is it does sound a little derivative of one of your previous songs.
Well, you know, Hugo, I buy the rights to this music. I've got the same house band, you know. They only know a few tracks. I can only pay them so much money. You know, I've got different songs, though. I definitely have newer, fresher songs, you know. And they're not just about Beaver Rogers, you know. Some of them are about other girls that I met while I was in the UK. You know, I know you might have been to a dance or two yourself, huh, Hugo?
Oh, I do enjoy a foxtrot, I must say. It is, it's one of, I'm trying to pitch myself as a host for a show called Strictly Come Dancing. They want to go with just come dancing, but I think, I don't know if you know this or not, Willie, people use come in different ways.
They certainly do, Hugo. They do that, some people like to swallow it, some people like to wipe it on the bedsheet.
Willie, please, this is the BBC. I think people know what we're getting at, but it's what's known as a double entendre.
Oh, that must be some French. I know French from my time in New Orleans.
Yes, it is French. It's French for double meaning. And I'll give you an example. A man walks into the bar and he asks the barman for sex. So the barman gave him one.
Oh, Hugo, that's a good one.
It's good,
I might use that in my next show if you don't mind.
Oh, please do. I encourage it. I really do. It's a bit stuffy here. And one of the things you do is you do bring a looseness. It's quite refreshing.
Well, speaking of looseness, Hugo, I met a girl at a dance one time, and she really made an impression on me, and I just can't forget her.
I say.
So I wrote a little song about her. It's the next song I'm gonna play from my album.
Oh, please do.
I met a girl when I was out at a dance. She took my hand, put it down her pants. I had a fondle and I made a moan. I snipped my fingers on the way back home. Girl, a dance you man stinks. Girl, a dance you man stinks. That was quite the palm, lady. Couldn't get up my fingers for days. And that song's called Girl, a dance you men stinks. And she left quite the impression on me, you know. I never got her name, but I'll never forget her smell.
Right. So there's a couple of issues there, Willie. One is that, I got the impression that the album was about beavers. So I don't see how this ties in with beavers. The second issue is that reminds me of concentration camp Scamp.
Well, let me address this one at a time, Hugo. Let me address your concerns, you know. Well, first off, this isn't about, the whole album isn't about, it's about beavers. You know, she had quite the beaver as well. I felt it. But it's about Beaver Rogers. It's just the title of the album. Beaver Girl.
So it's good. It's not to get hung up. So this woman had a beaver, And
She had a beaver.
Yes, and you felt the beaver, you stroked the beaver. It sounds like you inserted some digits into the beaver. I assume that was, in a veterinary capacity. But not. I shouldn't get hung up on every song being about beavers.
Well, it was somewhat about a beaver, but a beaver that was very unclean.
Oh, right. Well, that's probably going to be a water issue.
Well, there was certainly a damp issue down there. Yes. I can tell you that for certain, Hugo.
Yes. And what about, I'm all for, this new concept of recycling. It's, some people just throw their milk bottles away. I always leave them on the doorstep for the milkman because they can reuse them. I think that's very important. But when it comes to art, I do thrive on originality. And that song, it did sound a little like Concentration Camp Scamp, which is one of my favorites, by the way.
Well, you see, the thing is, Hugo, I knew people loved that song. And there's no harm in reusing tunes if you're gonna change things up a bit. But just remember, this is just a B-side. I've got other title tracks on the album.
Oh.
Other hit songs. And they're different. The band have come up with a couple of different songs. Well, this one is about an Irish lady that I met called Mary O'Leary. Hey girl, that's quite the rub. Come on over, let me give it a tug. I've never in my life seen something quite so hairy. Gonna go out on a limb and say that's hereditary. Please don't be offended when I turn out the light. It's just I'm deathly scared of spiders and it's giving me a fright. But underneath, you've got quite the piece of beef. I can't wait till I get down there, feel those hairs between my teeth. Like I said, Hugo, that was a song about Mary O'Leary, and it's called Harry Mary O'Leary.
Yes. Mary sounds hairy.
Mary was very hairy. That was quite the beaver,
Mary, so she was a beaver?
No, she had a beaver.
Oh, she had a beaver. Do lots of people in America have beavers?
Oh, everybody well, not everybody, but most women have a beaver. Quite a large beaver, some of them. And beavers come in all shapes and sizes,
I must connect with some of these ladies because over here, beavers very, very scarce. You do get them in zoos, of course. But, I am at the forefront of this movement to try and bring the beaver back, and it would be good to connect with some of these ladies.
I mean, I haven't seen one without a beaver in a while, but that was nice, too. She did it on purpose. It wasn't that she was too young, Hugo. I know this is the BBC and all, and you cats like that kind of thing, but, that just ain't for Willie Fiddler.
No, Willie, you are a man of upstanding character, I must say. It's, every time we've done research on you, not a single charge has ever sticked.
Exactly. I've got myself a good lawyer. I keep a good crowd of people around me, Hugo, and there's some very welcoming people here in the UK. I met I hate to do this, Hugo, but my driver, Babu, he's trying to get on in the business himself, not the music business. He's a businessman, you see.
Right, he's trying to muscle in, is he?
Well, he came up to me after a show. I don't know if you know any Indian people, Hugo. Have you ever met one?
Well, my father was a viceroy, and I have met a few in my time, but only in a subservient capacity.
Well, you see, the thing about those people, Hugo, is they all seem to be pretty subservient subservient, if you ask me. I had Babu. He was working the kitchen, in one of the clubs I was playing, and he came over to me and he said, Mr. Fiddler, can I be your driver, sir? And I said to him, you go ahead, Babu, you can drive me anywhere. But I don't know if you know this about Indian people here, Hugo, but they love to travel together. I said to him, listen, Babu, if you're going to pick me up for my shows again, I can't be sitting next to your grandmother with a kid sucking on her titty right next to me with your wife on the other side and kids hanging off the side of the car and stuff. It just don't look professional. True to his word, Hugo, he showed up the next day and they weren't even there. It turns out he had them in the trunk of the car.
Oh, dear. They do like to hang on to things, don't they? It's
they certainly do.
They're hanging on by a thread to this idea of independence, and I don't know how it's going to go. It just seems like there's something in economics called the sunk cost analysis, and I think we're better off out, to be frank. But hopefully we split the country up and we can both sell both sides arms for the next 70 years. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a great idea, especially if you're into economics.
Oh, I am, yes. And what are the economics of having Babu as a driver?
Well, Babu he's got this stuff, Hugo. It's like a miracle cure for small penises. And what he does at the shows is he played he did the warm-up songs for me at the Willie Fiddler show.
Oh.
And he would play a little track before I went on, get the crowd going and whatnot.
Wow.
And then he would sell this magical penis scream after the show.
Does it work? Not that I require such assistance, but I'm just interested.
Oh, I tell you this now, Hugo. This stuff is wonderful. It's called Babu's Bigger Boner Bringer.
Babu's Bigger Boner Bringer.
Yeah, that's the stuff.
Right.
It sells like hotcakes after the show. He's quite the entrepreneur. He got his family. They got a little phone system set up there. They run their own little sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, a little telephone center after the show. And that phone's ringing off the hook after he plays his tune.
What's it? That sounds...
If you want to make it harder, if you want to make it larger, if you want to make it stronger, if you want to make it longer, if you want to make it bigger, if you want to make it better, then Babu is the man that you really need to call. If you want to make it harder, if you want to make it larger, if you want to make it stronger, if you want to make it longer, if you want to make it bigger, if you want to make it better, if you want to make it better, then give Babu a call. He would play that before I went on, and then he would hand out these little cards to the audience with his telephone number on. And they would call up his little telephone gang, and we'd sell them some Babu's Bigger Boner Bringer.
I must...
It was flying off the shelves, Hugo.
Well, I mean, we all want a little extra, don't we? But that song, just noise, I could not understand a word he was saying. It was very quick, very quick.
Neither could I, Hugo, but those people love that stuff. And he gave me a couple of vials of it for my own personal enjoyment. And, I'll tell you this now, Hugo, it helped me a lot when I went back to Beaver Rogers.
Willie, forgive me. I don't want to overstep my bounds, but is it true that men of your melanin content don't struggle in that department in general?
Oh, no, we're well hung, Hugo, well hung.
So you still...
We fill the beaver, if you know what I'm saying.
I don't. But did you still take the medication anyway?
Well, I gave it a go, and there's no harm in having a even bigger length, Hugo, and I gave it a try, and it really did add a couple of inches. If anything, I had to scale back my usage.
Well, that sounds excessive. I mean, I've talked to my wife about this. on several occasions when we've, sometimes, I don't want to divulge too much information, but sometimes I notice she's reading Lady Chatterley's Lover by D.H. Lawrence in bed, and I think, oh, here we go. And I do have to be the gardener and a little rougher. And sometimes she wants what she calls it deeper. She wants it deeper, and I there's only so deep I can go. Really, it is what it is. So I'll say afterwards.
Well, let me.
I just think I've said to her before. I try my best. Do you want someone bigger? And she always goes, no, because it would hurt. It's just role play. So do you think it is? Do you think women are telling the truth with that?
Well, I wouldn't know now, Hugo, because I've never left a woman unsatisfied.
Right,
Willie
yes.
Fiddler likes to finish the job, if you know what I'm saying.
Right,
But,
yes.
I mean, what I could do, if you wanted, Hugo, is I don't think Babu would mind me asking him to run a couple of vials of Babu's bigger boner bringer around to your house, and maybe you could entertain your lady friend there.
I mean, I would love to try it. The only thing is, I have tried Indian stuff before, and a lot of wind.
Oh, this is very different, Hugo. You'll enjoy this stuff. As a matter of fact, Babu was telling me this is a very highly guarded secret recipe, and he's gone ahead and buried some of the original recipe in a place called, where is it now? It's Arawash Valley, on the border with Nottingham and Derbyshire.
Arawash Valley, yes, I know it. That would be the perfect place for beavers.
I'm sure we'll see a few about there someday.
Well.
Especially if what I've been up to in the UK has anything to go by.
Oh, Willie, what a card. Willie, where are you on tour? It's all over the UK, but in Derbyshire, do you know exactly where you're going to be?
I'm going to be, tomorrow night. I'm going to be in Green Lane Jazz Club.
Beautiful.
In Derby City Centre. And then I'm making my way over to Spawnton Jazz Club the night after that.
Well, I'll be at both with gusto, so if any listeners want to tag along and get a good old chinwag with me and Willie, we'll be there in spades. And you'll be there with spades.
I will indeed, Hugo.
Yes.
And I hope to see you there. And don't forget, if you want to use some of Babu's bigger boner bringer, come on down.
I absolutely will. Willie, it's been a pleasure.
I'll catch you soon, Cat.
You take
Have
care.
a good one, Hugo.
Bye-bye now. Bye-bye. I'll have a good one, yes.
The Dave Longley Breakfast Show. No stigma, just positive vibes.